Yeah. What's up, Dill?
What's up, Dom?
So, dude, the first time I heard of this guy, he was on the PVD podcast, and his name is David Pakman, and he's part of the progressive left. I kind of like this guy, but I also love to make fun of him. You got to check out his reaction when he had Vivek Ramaswamy on, who's surging in the polls, by the way. Pakman asks him about the election in 2020, which Trump just got indicted for.
Is there any way to interpret that Donald Trump actually won the 2020 election, or did he lose the 2020 election?
The way you're framing the question, you're asking me a very specific question. Is there
So right now he's like, there's no way he's going to disagree with me.
any way? Here's one important unexplored strand.
Okay.
The Hunter Biden laptop story and its systematic suppression. I'm a data-driven guy.
Really?
I'm a data-driven guy, and I think you probably are too, based on
Absolutely
what little I know. So look at the polling data on the aftermath and before and after. There are more than enough people, it's not even by a super small margin, that say they would have changed their vote had they been exposed to that information before that election. The fact is that was systematically suppressed in what was probably the single greatest form of election interference in American history.
And
there was
in
a lot
other
of discussion.
words,
If I may just finish, just to
Sorry.
get the full freight of my view.
You said sorry.
The panic is setting in already.
Right. Look at his face, dude. Hold on.
Here.
yeah.
There was a lot of discussion about the legitimacy of the 2016 election on the back of Russian election interference that actually, it turns out, was actually much smaller scale than surmised.
He's like, oh, shit.
But on the day of Trump's inauguration,
His eyes are
there was a
darting.
lot of discussion. Hillary Clinton called the election result illegitimate and said that it was partly the product of Russian election interference. Whatever that was, that pales in comparison,
Really?
to the effect of the systematic suppression on
Really?
domestic soil of a story that 2 years later, every news outlet in this country has absolutely admitted was indeed true when it was systematically suppressed at the time. So you ask the question, is there any basis? There's your basis.
And do you have an opinion as to, is it the explicit pictures of Hunter that would have in some way changed people's minds?
All right, so there's the balloon going around the room. He's like, I got a, legit Republican. This dude, he's young millennial Vivek Ramaswamy on. Like, there's no way he thinks the election is illegitimate. He's like, yeah, the Hunter Biden story, that absolutely affected the, just lays it down like a boss. I can see Pakman's Adam's apple going.
I never watch him because it's just maddening to me, but I did watch this full one. In fact, I think I texted you about it too, because I was like, okay, the Vivek interview was really good. Vivek killed it. But then in the news portions front and behind it, he was back to saying ridiculous stuff about conservatives.
Yeah. So Ramaswamy is suing the DOJ. This dude is running for office as a Republican against Trump. But he's like, I don't want to win that way. I want to win legit and honest. And check his tweet out.
We live in an era of the noble lie, the so-called lie that the government tells to its people because it believes the people can't handle the truth.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Why is it that we see the rise of 3 different indictments, 3 supposedly independent prosecutions at the same time in the midst of a presidential election? It's because the government does not trust the people to select their leaders. We fought a revolution in this country in 1776 for a simple idea, that we the people determine how we select our leaders and have a government that is accountable to its people rather than the other way around. Yet today we now live in a country where when the people question that government, they are themselves the subject of scrutiny. That is wrong. I was in Nashville yesterday demanding the release of that transgender shooters manifesto.
No one else would do that. I didn't know he did that. That's awesome, because they are trying to hide that manifesto.
I really like this guy. He's basically saying, he's like, remember when Brexit happened and they were like, oh shit, they voted for Britain to leave. Oh, we got to redo the vote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Dude, you can't have a democracy and then not like the outcome and then say, well, we got to do that over again because, we know better than you. People don't like elitism, man. This is a big problem, dude. This is the whole new populism movement. Guys like Bill Maher, Russell Brand, they're on board with this. Conversations with you on the phone, like kind of made me see the light about this or whatever. But shall we continue with Vivek here? Let's see what more he's got to say.
It's the same story all over again. Tell us the truth about the COVID origin. Tell us the truth about where the virus originated. Tell us the truth about what we know about vaccine mandates and mask mandates. Even in a recent hearing about UFOs in Congress, just tell us the truth instead of repeatedly hiding from us the information that we need as a people.
I mean, I'm speechless, dude. Like, I mean,
Like,
how do you
no
not
one
just, how do you
speaks-
not
he's the
disagree
only
or
guy-
agree with that?
He's the only guy who speaks like that and can reach
I know.
people like us. Like no one is speaking to like our generation and like the generation younger, you know?
I call him the Republican Obama. He's got Obama's like delivery, but he's a Republican. You know what I mean?
And he doesn't have to attack, and he never has to like,
I know.
Be mean. As fun as that is sometimes when Trump does it or whatever, it's like this guy can accomplish all the same things in this way he does it that is just, it just pulls you in, man.
I love this guy.
You notice he's also the only guy that Trump says anything good about.
Yeah, he and I think RFK or something, Junior.
Yeah, RFK too. He's never insulted him, and I don't know. If Trump gets the nomination, I think he might pick Vivek as his VP. That would be an amazing move.
Sure, Trump's got that, the popularity. I mean, he's guy's indicted, and he's still like leagues, ahead in the poll, man. Like crazy.
And worst case scenario, like if something happens to Trump, you can be confident in that
Right.
Vivek can replace him.
He is the youngest. He's the youngest candidate, I think, to run ever as a Republican. He's 37 years old. He's from Ohio, and dude, we're so early, man. The primary is next September, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Biden's still got a full year, and a half, or a year and 3 months to go.
Turns out that trust is a two-way relationship. The reason that the people don't trust the government is that our government no longer trusts the people. So is this a politicized persecution through prosecution? I certainly believe it is. But it's the government's job to be transparent about exactly who told who what to bring about these prosecutions, because the fact they're arising at the same time is no accident. And I think it's best that the government now be transparent with the people about what their intentions actually are. Without that transparency, we can only expect far worse in the future.
Vivek Ramaswamy, everybody.
Awesome, man. I'm excited
Excuse
to see
me.
what happens.
Vivek, sorry.
Vivek. Yeah, I always say it wrong too.
Guys, leave your comments below and make sure you smash that like button. Help this channel grow. We are Yakcast. Yeah.
And subscribe.